Hey everyone, welcome to this video. The objective over here is to show you a script that I've written for my DMVPN setup. And this is basically the same things that I'm going to be teaching in my upcoming Python class. What I wanted to do was take away the pain of configuring DMVPN and remembering all the Ipsec commands that go along with it for network administrators. And that's exactly what I want to have you guys do as well, or teach you how to do that in the Python class. So what I wanted to do was I wanted to set up an entire DMVPN setup in phase 3 by asking the administrators certain questions, and based on those inputs I would generate a script that would push the configuration down to all these different devices. So to show you how that's done, I'll show you the actual execution of the script, what the script is doing for you. Now let's just dive into it. But before we do that, let's understand the network over here. What I've done in this particular network, which I've pre-configured with a management network, which is connected to my PC, that allows it to actually SSH into the device and configure it. That's 172.25.1.1 for router 1, 1.2 for 2, 1.3 for 3, 1.4 for 4, and 1.5 for router 5. They're all connected to the internet. This is your physical link connecting to the internet. This is the public link over here. And that, for me, for all these routers, the link is, or the interface is E00. So that's going to be my tunnel source when I configure it. All right. I would need to know things that I need to tell the script, and based on that, the script will configure the commands. I need to tell the script about the network that I want to run for my DMVPN. For example, if I want to connect this up using DMVPN, what is my tunnel network? So come up with that, keep that ready, because the script is going to ask you for that. So in my case, let's say I'm going to pick 192.168.123.0. And again, the script gives the administrator the flexibility of picking that network up. All right. I need to run a routing protocol. I'm going to run EIGRP as my protocol. You do need to specify the EIGRP AS number that you want to run. Maybe the network is already running an AS number that you want to match, or you want to keep it separate. It's entirely up to you. So in my case, I'm going to use 123. Besides that, you also need to provide all the Ipsec parameters that you need it to configure it. So I don't want to decide for the network administrators what security parameters that they want to use. I would want them to input that, and the script will ask them those commands or those parameters, and based on that, configure the devices. So let's get started with that. But before we do that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to write them down, the parameters that I need, in a notepad file, and I'll always reference back to it when I go from one device to the other. So the first thing is phase 1. The parameters that I need for Ipsec phase 1. Let's set up my authentication pre-shared key as, let's say, Cisco 123. I want to set up my encryption, let's say, as triple des. My hash for phase 1, I'm going to do MD5. My Diffie-Hellman group, let's say 2. Those are my parameters that I need for phase 1. Phase 2, I still need an encryption mechanism for phase 2 that is going to be used for data encryption. I need a hash mechanism over here as well. Let's use SHA for that. All right. Besides that, some other parameters that we just discussed, tunnel parameters, like the tunnel network. We decided on 192.168.123.0, and it's entirely up to you what you want to pick. Tunnel source, I'm going to use that E00, my outside interface for that. What else? EIGRP AS number. I need that. I'll say 123 for that. What else? My network, my LAN segment that I need to advertise. So over here, if I look at my diagram, I have those orange networks over here that are my LAN segments. 10.1.1.0 behind router 1, 10.2.2.0 behind router 2, 10.3.3.0 behind router 3, 10.4.4.0 behind 4, and 10.5.5.0 behind router 5. Now, I could technically, depends on how you want to do it, I could put my network, either say, hey, listen, I want to advertise the entire 10 network. Or if I want to do specific, I can also do, but you need to do it just like you would be configuring it on the router. So the inverse mask If you want to do 10.0.0.0, that's also okay. So these are the parameters, and think about it. Based on these parameters, I can configure the entire router for DMVPN. All I got to do is ask the administrator for these parameters, and it'll go ahead and configure the entire DMVPN for the administrator. And that's what the script is doing. That's the power of the script. All right, and that's what you're going to be learning in the course. So let's go ahead and run the script and see what it does. So over here, I'm going to run my script over here. This is the script. So IP address that I want to specify. Oops. You rerun it. There you go. IP address 172.25.1.1. This is the management IP address that I'm going to be running to SSH into this device. It's going to prompt me for a username. My username on those devices are Kawar with a password of Cisco. Is this device the next top server? I'm going to 1.1. If you take a look at it, this is my next top server for DMVPN. So I'll say yes. Based on that, it'll do different commands on it. Now it's asking me for my phase 1 parameters. We decided on this one as MD5, triple DES, group 2, and a pre-shared key of Cisco 123. Let's go back over here. MD5, triple DES, group 2, pre-shared key as Cisco 123. Phase 2 parameters, for the hash we said SHA, and my encryption we said triple DES. Tunnel information, tunnel source, we decided on E00. Tunnel network, we decided on 192.168.123.1 because I'm on router 1. EIGRP AS number, we said we're going to use 123. Specify the network to advertise. Let's do 10.1.1.0, 0.0.0.255. And that's it. Based on that, the entire device will be configured for DMVPN phase 3. Not only that, I'll show you the script that it's going to run. So this is what it's doing. Crypto ISACM policy 5, hash, encryption, group 2, authentication pre-share. That's what we set up. The key that we set up, the transform set based on SHA and triple DES. The profile is created. The tunnel interface parameters are configured. The network is advertised. So at this point, my first device should be configured. IPsec configured. I'm ready to close this script now. So once this is done, I can go back and telnet into my router 1 and see, or console into my router 1 and see these parameters if it has been configured. So basically, ISACM policy 5, mode tunnel, or the transform set is there, IPROF, my tunnel network, all that is configured automatically based on that input, and this is your EIGRP. I won't be able to test it right now because I haven't configured the spoke routers, but once I run the script over there, I would see the routes getting propagated. So let's go ahead and run the script again, but this time around I'm going to connect up to router 2. So let's go back over here, run the module, same script, but this time around the IP address I'm going to configure is 172.168.1.2. That's the management IP for router 2. SSH username is Kawar, password Cisco. Is this the next top server? I'll say no. What parameters? I need to match these parameters, the ones that I specified on the first device. So MD5, triple DES, and group 2 with a password pre-shared key of Cisco 123. So again, let's go back to the script. MD5, triple DES, group 2, pre-shared key is Cisco 123. For phase 2, it was SHA and triple DES. Tunnel source is still E00. Tunnel network IP is 192.168.123, and this is router 2, so .2. EIGRP AS number needs to match 123. Network to advertise over here is 10.2.2.0, 0.0.0.255, and that's it. Enter the tunnel IP of the NHS because this is a spoke, so it's asking another question: who is your NHS? So in my case, 192.168.123.1. It has to be the tunnel IP. That's why the prompt. And again, these are the things that you need to do in your script to make it easy and understandable for the administrator. So tunnel IP of the NHS, which is 192.168.123.1, because there are certain commands and mappings that need to be done. The public IP of the NHS, which is 192.1.10.1. And that's it. It's going to configure it based on this, and it'll show you the commands. So those last two commands, tunnel IP and public IP, that's where the mapping comes in. Not only for the unicast, but also for the multicast to this address that you specified. Now, once this is done, I can verify the configuration and see if it's working by going to router 2 and see if I have a setup with my, my hub 10.1.1.0. My local network is 10.2.2.2. I should be able to ping 10.1.1.1 over here using a 10.2.2.2 source. This is what I've configured. This is the one I have routed. If I go over here, you can see the EIGRP neighbor relationship has come up. I should be able to ping 10.2.2.2, source of 10.1.1.1. There you go. So now I have router 1 and router 2 already configured, and I haven't actually typed in a single IPsec command. It's all done based on the script. So this device is done. This device is done. Let's complete it. Let's run the same script for router 3, router 4, and router 5. We should have a complete setup of DMVPN between R1, R2, R3, R4, and R5. So with that in mind, let's go ahead and run the script again. We'll close this part and rerun the script. Again, what is the IP address of the device to be configured? This is the management IP, 1.3. Username is Kowar. Password is Cisco. Is this a next hop server? I'll say no. Parameters need to match, MD5, triple des, group 2. Password is Cisco123. For phase 2 is SHA. And your encryption is triple des. Tunnel source is still E00. Tunnel IP is 192.168.123.3. EIGRP AS number is 123. Network to advertise is 10.3.3.0.0.0.0.255. Be precise. Press the tunnel IP or enter the tunnel IP of the NHS 192.168.123.1, which is still router 1. The public IP is 10.1. It's going to do the mapping based on that. And the config should be done over here. Looks good. And if you want to check it, go back over here. I should have another neighbor that has come up. Show IP route, or actually show IP route. There's other networks that I have on these routers, so but we can check the ones that we are concerned about are these two. So now should be able to ping 10.2.2.2, source 10.1.1.1 or 10.3.3.3. And if you want to see if phase 3 is being done, do a trace route to 10.3.3.3. The first time round, I'll do a probe 1 numeric, so it's a little faster. The first time round, the trace will go through the hub. It'll do the mapping. That's what phase 3 does. And then the packet will go direct. So I am running phase 3 over here. The NHRP redirects are there. You can check that by doing show run interface tunnel 1. There you go. The redirect is here. On the spoke, based on the script, I have done the shortcut. So this is all these commands that need to be configured are done by the script. So if we're done with 1, 2, and 3, we're on our way. Almost there. 4 and 5. So I'm going to do the same thing again. Stop the old script, run the script again, run the module. Move this in here. 172.25 1.4. I'm going to route a 4 right now. Username and the password. Logged in. Is this a next hop server? I'll say no. Parameters MD5, triple des, group 2. Pre-shared key is Cisco123. For phase 2 it was SHA and triple des. Tunnel source is E00. Tunnel address 192.168.123.4. This is router 4. EIGRP AS number is still the same. Network to advertise, I just do 10.0.0.0 just for the heck of it so you guys can see either one will be okay. Tunnel IP of the NHS because I'm not the next hop server, 1.1. And 10.1 is the public IP. Should be configured. There you go. Network 10 the way I specified it because that's what I wanted to do over here. I could do both ways, You can stop this over here, check if the config is running. There you go. I actually saw that the neighbor with 4 is up, and now in my 10 range I should have 4. Oops, something wrong over here. For EIGRP, network 10 is configured. I should have network 10 over here. 10444. Something wrong on this one. Now let's rerun the script. Let me see what was wrong. Unfortunately, I closed the other window. So the device to be configured is 25.1.4. That's good. No, it is MD5. Triple DES, group 2. Pre-shared key is there. SHA, triple DES, E0/0, 123.4. EIGRP is 123. Network to advertise 10.4.4. Let's just do that. 192.168.123.1. Must have done something wrong over there. 10.1. Looks good. Let's check the config now. This key exists. That's okay. Looks good. 123. Tunnel 1 I'll get rid of and set the IP again. The rest should look okay. So all I got to do is set the IP address over here because it already existed, and no interface tunnel 1 because it doesn't get rid of. There you go. And the IP address, I'll do it manually because of the script erroring out for this one. No interface tunnel 1. Okay. 10.1 is reachable. There you go. EIGRP is up. All right. So maybe I made a mistake in typing it, so I had to redo it, and now it's working properly. So router 4 is done. Let's do router 5 now, the last one I need to run. Close this up, and we will do number 5. Again, same set of commands, .25.1.5, logged in, NHS no, MD5, triple DES 2, Cisco 123. This is SHA, triple DES. Source interface is E00, 123.5. EIGRP is 123. Network to advertise 10.5.50. NHS is 123.1. 10.1. Let's check the commands now before I let it go. The first set looks good. Should be okay. Let's check. 5, there you go. It has liftoff. 10.2, 10.3, 10.4, 10.5. All the devices are configured. And let's do a trace to all of these, and I should go direct from this. Probe 1 numeric. This one is direct. For the other ones, because it's the first time I'm going there, first time I'll go through the hub, and then it'll do the redirect, and there you go. 5 direct. If you take a look at your Show Crypto ICAMP SA, you'll see all the different SAs created. If you take a look at your Show Crypto IPsec SA, you'll see all the traffic that is getting encrypted between the different devices. It will show up over here. This is towards the hub, so you'll see a lot more packets because of EIGRP. And that's DMVPN. So as you guys saw, without doing anything in terms of actually writing the commands, the script is doing it for the administrators. These are the type of things that I'm going to be doing in the class. So I'm not only going to do it for DMVPN, I'm doing MPLS over there, MPLS VPNs. We're going to do the same type of thing for your ASA firewall, configuring the ASA firewall using scripts. Again, I'm going to do two types of scripts. One I showed you over here, which is basically where the administrator does not need to know any of the commands. The script will do it for it. The other way I want to do it is where the administrator knows the commands, but it wants to automate the process. Automate the process in the sense that I might have 5 different devices to configure. I create the config files, keep them ready, and I'll have the script use those files to configure the devices. So our pre-configuration is done. I just need to push the configuration onto different devices. So I'll show you both ways of doing it. This is just one way of doing it. Excited to bring this to you guys. Hope to see you guys in the class.